Hi, sir.
How's it going?
Mr. John Troxell, thank
Yes.
you for joining us here on MCON Gameday. We appreciate you making some time to meet us. How's the day been for you so far?
It's been awesome. Night before last, I got in from a trip to Europe, spent it with the troops, 8-day trip in Europe. I took a day with my family yesterday, flew in here this morning, got to fly home tonight. Got an event in Tacoma, Washington on Saturday, so life is good. But
You're staying busy, man.
Staying busy,
Staying busy.
A lot of good things happening. It's all about what I can do to pay it forward to the troops, give back to veterans, and then make life fun for my family.
Yeah, well, we'll dive into all of that. I want to take you out of that for a second. We got a question here. We're asking everybody on game day today.
Okay.
So I hope you're ready for it.
Ready.
Ready. All right. So if you think back on your life, up to this point and to where you're going, if someone was gonna make a movie about John's life, what's the theme of that movie? What's the genre? Are we talking about rom-com? Is it a horror movie? Is it an action movie? And who's gonna play you?
So I would say it would probably be an action movie with a little bit of comedy in it.
Okay. All right. A little comedic action.
Yeah.
Like that.
And I think the right guy to play me would probably be somebody like John Cena.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Somebody that's not afraid to grapple.
Yeah.
And loves to work out, exercise, and everything, and has got a sense of humor.
I love that. That's Cena's great, and a little comedic action. I think Rush Hour too. I think a little Jackie Chan, a little Chris Tucker.
Yeah.
That's, in my opinion, one of the best of that genre. But it's been a minute.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. I mean, look, you're a busy guy. You're running all over the place. You're doing a lot. So what's the fight that you're in right now? How do you characterize that fight?
Well, so when I retired after 38 years in the military, I wanted to take on the corporate world. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be a small business owner, and I am. I have my own consulting business, and I consult for about 6 different businesses. I have my own leader development business. I went and got certified as a leadership coach, above and beyond all the stuff that the military had certified me in.
Yeah, you're starting from a high baseline.
Yeah, and so the fight I'm in every day is, as a small business owner, it takes you a while to start seeing a return on investment. And I live by 3 rules as a business owner. First and foremost, I pay anybody that works for me, whether they're a subcontractor, employee, whatever, on time, all the time.
Yeah.
I pay the bills associated with my business on time, all the time. And I pay myself when I can.
Yep.
And so the fight is to get over that hump to where you're at a certain point that you're able to pay yourself on time all the time, But until then, it's work.
Yeah.
It's continuing to get after marketing, to get, what I do in terms of building cohesive teams, leadership and mindset, training and everything. It's constantly getting after all of that stuff that will generate, the necessary clients that I'm looking for. We're doing well. 2025 is a good year.
That's great.
But
That's great.
I'm going to make 2026 next. But it is a day-to-day fight trying to get after it.
I look, as a small business owner and entrepreneur myself,
Yeah.
I get it. It's I guess actually, we come at it from different backgrounds. You obviously have a very high level of service for a long time. How is that? What is translated well into this entrepreneurial world for you from your time in the military, and what have you had to unlearn, maybe to be successful?
Yeah. So what's worked out well is that my ability over that 38 years to operate at the tactical, operational, strategic level, and then having a certain comfort level to operate there, meaning I could sit in meetings at the White House, at the Defense Department, with the Secretary of Defense, the chairman, with the administration, with Congress. I had no problem. And the next day I could be down with the troops doing PT and, giving life lessons and leadership and everything.
Yeah.
That has worked out well for me because I just recently did a leader development with Hormel Foods up in Minnesota with some C-suite leaders, but also some leaders in one of the plants down on the ground that is making the Spam and everything. So that translated well. What doesn't translate well is when you are trying to go from a culture of, inclusivity and standing up on your own and being goal-oriented and having vision and being purposeful and everything. And then you get out here and you're working with folks that aren't military-oriented or experienced, and they have a different way of operating. So I had to in some cases, back off the pedal a little bit in terms of being purposeful and, hey, let's go, and everything, and understand that the things that we were expect, by soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marine, Coast Guardsmen operating off of vision and intent, and in some cases asking for forgiveness instead of permission after they took disciplined initiative and got the job done. I don't see that a lot in what I'm doing now on the corporate side, and that's something I have to get used to, is that somebody, before they make a decision, they're going to make sure the boss gives them permission to go out and do something.
Right.
The discipline initiative isn't there as much as it is in the military.
Yeah, and you also can't just dictate orders and expect everybody to hop to.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit of co-option in addition to coercion.
Absolutely,
and all that. Well, that's neat. I think that transition. It's cool that you're on this journey, and it sounds like you're having a lot of success, and I'm sure are going to continue to compound on it. Let's talk a little bit about this venue and what you're doing here at MCON. What has been your message to the community here as you? I think you spoke before this this conversation. What attracted you to this event? What's the message you're trying to get out?
Yeah, so I was on the panel for emerging therapies for service members and veterans. I'm no PhD, in any of that stuff. I'm just a guy that led for 38 years in the military, and now I'm a leadership coach, and I'm a certified personal trainer and things like that. But I focus on the human dimension aspect of influencing people, the art. While a lot of others, great Americans doing great things with psychedelics and all these other things, that's the science of getting after assisting veterans or the men and women in the military. I focus on the art of influence. What can I do to help them feed the positive stuff that's going on in their life and their career and starve the negative stuff? How to uplift themselves every day, physically, mentally, emotionally, and intellectually. How to encourage themselves in the face of adversity, but also encourage others. And then how to love life, how to love what they're doing, their family, all these other things. Yeah. And that acronym is FUEL, that I do, F-U-E-L. How do I fuel them every day? So what I love about coming to MCON is, one, I'm around so many trusted professionals in whatever they're doing. So I learn when I come here. But it's also an opportunity for me to share best practices, that me being on the art side of getting after solving problems while others are on the science side, are there synergies to be had? And, after my panel, I think I exchanged phone numbers with at least 10 people that are looking to say, are there some synergies to be had between us that we could work together with the common end state of supporting veterans that may be in crisis, supporting our military as they look to continue to build competitive warfighting advantages, and continuing to help military families too as they either struggle while in uniform or in their post-military life with their loved ones.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're tapping into some really they're essential issues, and what comes back to for me is, I mean, you're somebody who operated really at the highest levels of military service, Sr Enlisted Advisor to the Commander of the Joint Chiefs, and then sort of the Commander-in-Chief by proxy, right? It's an advisory role, but you have massive amounts of responsibility in that role. You're responsible for the entire map of the world in that sense, and now you're the atomic unit is the human. Right.
Yes.
Now it's like the mind of these individual people that you're acting with. I guess, like, what's how do you shift from one to the other? Do you find yourself spending a lot of time reading the news and wishing, oh man, I wish they would just listen to me on this? Like, or how have you been able to make that transition?
So first and foremost, I focus people on controlling what they can control. Yeah. What is in their span of control. And not getting caught up. Too many people, and you kind of described it, they watch the news and they get upset.
Twitter warriors,
or
right?
Twitter or Reddit or any of these others.
Absolutely, Sorry, it wasn't platform agnostic. Social media warrior.
Yeah. And what I try to do is get them focusing on what is in your span of control. Worry about that. Don't worry about this other stuff that you can't change it anyways. Don't worry about that. I don't let politics come into anything that I'm doing. I don't,
That's healthy.
Yeah,
I've heard.
I have an opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's also healthy. I think you're allowed to have an opinion. Yeah.
But my opinion is my own. I had a veteran on an airplane one time, right after the election. He says, "Hey, who'd you vote for?" And I said, "None of your business."
It's between me and my maker. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And he says, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Dude, look. Okay, my vote is my vote. Your vote is your vote. You're asking me for one of two reasons. Either you want me to commiserate with you that whoever you voted for is won the election, or you want to attack me for going other ways." I said, "So just put your earbuds on, watch a movie, brother, and enjoy, okay?" And the lady across the aisle looks over at me and says, "Good answer."
Yeah.
I just don't get caught up in that stuff. What I try to do amidst the chaos, amidst the maybe unconventional delivery and method of things, what is in the spirit of the message, the policy, and the direction it's going, and how can I take that and make sense out of it, that when I am talking to troops or veterans or families, that I can make it make sense to them without putting any kind of slant on it that could be seen as politically motivated. And so it's tough in that environment because so many people want to live in that polarized environment, but I choose not to. And every day I practice an attitude of gratitude.
Yeah,
I'm happy for what I got, and what are my goals I'm moving forward. My wife and I are constantly working on where we're going with the business and everything, and I'm not going to let anything derail it, especially if it's something that I can't control. And so that's what I try to coach people on, is focus on what you can control, and you'll be much happier and more successful.
Amen, brother. The line that I've heard recently that I really like is, "How cheap is your happiness?"
Yeah.
Is it so cheap that it's, some random person you don't know can say two words and affect your mind? Because that's on you. That's not on them.
That's exactly
That's on
right.
you.
Yeah.
We need to take accountability for our own emotional responses to some of these things.
Even now, I still get criticized by people because I am successful in what I'm doing, and I'm going out and doing these things, and there's other senior enlisted across the services, not bad people, but they're like, "Why is this guy doing this and not me?" And when people come back and say to me, "Oh, this guy was talking smack about you," I don't care. Okay, I don't care. I give it an extinction response. I do nothing. Because to your point, Noah, if I answer that, I have just brought myself to their level.
That's right.
And, I don't need to respond to that because it has no influence on what I'm doing.
That's right. Well, look, this is a phenomenal message, whether you're a veteran or a civilian or you don't know what either of those two words mean. I mean, it's just a human answer.
Yeah.
One thing that we're trying to do here with Game Day, a lot of incredible conversations going on in these rooms. It's a tight community. It's important that this community have the opportunity to interact with one another. There's some people like me, interlopers. I have not worn the uniform.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time with the veteran community. I have an incredibly high regard for those who do serve in that way. I think that we do need to also work on bridging those communities because there are fewer and fewer people who have served in our armed forces. It's more and more kind of siloed in this country than it's been in a long time. And so when you kind of see this kind of event and coming from your background, what we want to do with Game Day is bring some of that into a broader ecosystem, expose some other folks to the conversations happening in a place like this. What's something you would love somebody who's not here at MCON to understand about what's going on here over this week?
So when we talk about veterans and the loss of purpose, they have this purposeful career serving in the military, getting after their job, their military occupational specialty, and because we're an expeditionary military, they probably served overseas somewhere and everything, and all of a sudden they leave that. And their tribe was the military, and now they don't have that. They don't have that purpose. They can find themselves lost. MCON is that place to either retain or regain that purpose, because you are around like-minded individuals here. Even though guys like you haven't served in uniform, you're here on behalf of veterans, and you bring this energy and this enthusiasm and everything. And that's what I think MCON is all about. It's to re-energize the veteran to understand whatever I'm going through in my life, there are remedies for it. And it could be on the art side with a leadership coach like me. It could be on the science side with a therapist, psychedelics, or something else. But we can get you not just if you're unhealthy, healthy, but we can get a positive deviance to how you're living your life. And it's these events like this that you build that network, and the work is done here, but post MCON, the relationships that are built and people building on those and using those networks that they built to continue to get after their goals, whatever that is,
Absolutely.
or to set goals
Absolutely.
and establish a vision for themselves on what they want to do.
Yes, sir. Fantastic. Well, we're going to let you get back out there and get to it.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, the final question we've been asking folks, you may see our challenge flag over here and be like, what's that thing doing here? You know, if we were to, let's say we were going to bait, Sally or Tennessee over there to hurl this thing at you, why would they do that? They'd do that if they disagreed with something that you said, maybe something that's a little bit of a off the beaten path take, but something that you have strong conviction on. What's something that you believe that someone here in the audience might feel the need to challenge?
Well, I felt it over there on the panel. I always focus on getting people to focus on being champions instead of victims. Some people, their power base is in their victimism.
Yeah.
And they don't want to get better. You know, I see it all the time. Veterans don't want to get therapy. They don't want to get help for their post-traumatic stress or whatever it is. I focus on getting after championism, which means it is a balance of the art of influence through empathy and compassion, because this person is hurting, they have issues that can be but there's got to be structure, discipline, and accountability associated with it, so that when they say they want to get better, they say they want to live a better life, and you help them establish goals, and all of a sudden they're not getting after that. Here's something you can say, hey, you said this is what you want to do, all right? Love you, we're still gonna, there's gonna be that empathy and compassion, but we gotta have structure, discipline, and accountability. And that's what championism is all about, is the humanity aspect along with the things necessary to achieve goals, get better, or whatever it is. And so I know there are people out there that, and not just necessarily here at MCON, but others that think that we need over empathy and over compassion for veterans, and I don't think so. And I think the average veteran doesn't want that. In the end, they want an opportunity to feel better, to have a career, to own a home, things like have a relationship, those kind of things. And they may be in a downward spiral, they don't know where to go. Well, we're there to help them. We're going to help them to help themselves first, all right, so that they own the journey. We're along there to help. So,
agency, man. It's all about agency.
That's it. That's a good one. Agency. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'll lock arms with you on that one. John, thank you for making the time here. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Really important. You got an incredible set of experiences, and I know you're going to continue to crush it on the private sector side. So thanks for stopping by.
All right. Thanks, Noah. Appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.